A German prince held massive authority over a concentration camp, but what he did next shocked even his own side. His command meant responsibility. His investigation revealed dark secrets. His decisions crossed unimaginable lines. He ordered an execution within his own ranks. He uncovered crimes hidden by someone close to power. His trial revealed a web of responsibility few expected. What the Allies discovered would seal his fate forever. The prince with blood on his hands was at the center of everything. Prince Josias wasn't just royalty. He was one of the highest-ranking officers in the organization. Born in 1896, he was heir to a German throne, but by 1938 he held a far darker title. He became the higher leader for the Weimar region, which meant he had authority over Buchenwald concentration camp. Thousands suffered under the camp's control, and he was the man overseeing it all. But here's where it gets strange. Prince Josias didn't run the camp day to day. Someone else did. So why would the Allies arrest him? The answer lies in something called command responsibility, a legal term that would haunt him forever. Because even though he wasn't inside the camp every day, the law said he was responsible for everything that happened there. And what happened there was unimaginable. The name that changed everything. In 1941, Prince Josias was reviewing a list, a routine death list from Buchenwald. Then he saw a name he recognized, Walter Kramer. Kramer wasn't just any prisoner. He was a hospital orderly who had once treated the prince himself. Josias knew Kramer was a skilled medical worker, so why was he labeled as eliminated? He began asking questions, and what he found was deeply disturbing. The camp's commandant, Karl Otto Koch, had ordered Kramer's elimination, not because he was dangerous, but because Kramer knew a secret. Kramer had treated Koch for a disease Koch wanted hidden: syphilis. Koch didn't want anyone knowing, so he had Kramer and another hospital worker, Karl Pex, quietly removed. But that wasn't all. There was another prisoner shot in the back while fetching water, and he too knew Koch's secret. The investigation begins. Prince Josias didn't stop. He ordered a full investigation into Buchenwald. He brought in Georg Conrad Morgan, a judge known for his strict approach to the law. What Morgan uncovered was shocking, even for wartime standards. Koch had been giving orders to eliminate prisoners for personal reasons. He was also stealing property taken from prisoners and keeping it for himself. One prisoner had been told to fetch water from a distant well, then shot from behind while walking back. His crime? He had also helped treat Koch's syphilis. By this time, Koch had been transferred to another camp in Poland, but his wife, Ilse Koch, still lived at Buchenwald, and she had her own dark reputation. What Morgan found next would lead to one of the most unusual trials in wartime history, a trial run by the organization itself.
The execution order. Prince Josias and Judge Morgan built a case against Commandant Koch. The charges: incitement to eliminate prisoners and embezzlement. Ilse Koch was also charged, though the evidence against her was harder to prove. In a shocking twist, Koch was found guilty by his own side, and on April 5, 1945, Karl Otto Koch was executed by firing squad. This was unusual. The organization rarely punished its own members for treatment of prisoners. But Koch had embarrassed them. He had stolen. He had acted for personal gain. And Prince Josias had signed off on the order. He believed he was cleaning house, removing a corrupt officer. But when the Allies arrived just days later, they saw it very differently. To them, Prince Josias wasn't a reformer. He was responsible for everything. The Allies arrived on April 13, 1945. 80 years ago, Allied forces arrested Prince Josias. They didn't care that he had investigated Koch. They didn't care that he ordered Koch's execution. To the Allies, Prince Josias was the man in charge, and Buchenwald was in his territory. Under international law, that made him responsible for every crime committed there. It didn't matter if he gave the orders directly. It didn't matter if he was trying to stop corruption. He had authority. He had oversight. He had power. And he didn't stop the suffering. Thousands had been held at Buchenwald. Many didn't survive. The Allies believed someone had to answer for that. And so Prince Josias, heir to a royal throne, was taken into custody. But his trial would reveal something even the Allies didn't expect. The Buchenwald trial in 1947, Prince Josias stood trial at Dachau, in what became known as the Buchenwald trial. The charges were serious, participating in a common plan to violate the laws and usages of war. This wasn't just about Cook, this was about the entire system. Prosecutors argued that Josias, as higher leader, knew what was happening and allowed it to continue. Even if he didn't give every order, he created the conditions where those orders could be carried out. The defense argued he had tried to stop corruption by investigating Cook, but the tribunal didn't see it that way. They saw a man who held power over a camp where thousands suffered and who did not use that power to stop it. The verdict came down in August 1947, and it was the harshest sentence possible: life imprisonment and a shocking release. Prince Josias was sentenced to life in prison. For many, it felt like justice. He had overseen a place of immense suffering. But the story didn't end there. His sentence was later reduced to 20 years. And then, in December 1950, just 3 years after his conviction, he was released. The reason? Health concerns. He walked free after serving only a fraction of his sentence. From 1946 until his death in 1967, he served as the head of his royal family. He lived quietly. He rarely spoke about the trial. And for many survivors and historians, his release remains controversial. So what does his story teach us? And why does it still matter today?
The legacy of command responsibility. Prince Josias's case set a powerful legal precedent. It established that leaders can be held responsible for crimes committed under their authority, even if they didn't give the orders themselves. This principle, known as command responsibility, is still used in international law today. It's been applied in trials for events in the Balkans, Rwanda, and other conflicts. Josias believed he was doing the right thing by investigating Cook, but the law said that wasn't enough. He had the power to stop the suffering at Buchenwald, and he didn't use it. His trial reminds us that authority comes with responsibility, and silence or inaction can be just as damning as direct orders. 80 years later, his arrest stands as a sobering lesson, because in the end, the Allies didn't just arrest a prince. They arrested a man who had the power to act and chose not to. Prince Josias of Waldeck thought his royal title would protect him. It didn't. As an SS Obergruppenführer with authority over Buchenwald concentration camp, he learned that power demands accountability. When this Nazi prince was arrested on April 13, 1945, it sent a clear message: no rank, no bloodline, no position places anyone above justice. His trial proved that those who hold command must answer for what happens under their watch. No exceptions, no escape.